the only one that actually has children, and his significant other chimes in and says that GTA for sure won't happen.
Oh yeah, I agree. I agree.
But not just will we allow our kids to play games, but how early is too early to play like a first person shooter? Like I was 11 years old when I played the very first Call of Duty game, which comparatively is not violent. If you go back and play that game, no, it's not violent at all. But I wasn't allowed to play anything like a first person shooter up until that time.
Brand new Call of Duty at 7 and Minecraft at 19. All right?
Well, Minecraft could be bad.
Well, yeah, we don't want them getting any ideas about creativity.
Honestly, does violence in video games cause us to be something more? Because here's the thing, right? I have an angry disposition. I've always in my life struggled with anger. Now, but I know we're making jokes right now, but for real, it's much better than it used to be. If you had known me 3, 4, 5 years ago, I mean, the smallest thing I would fly off a handle at. I had no control over my anger.
Now he just gets upset if you steal his ketchup.
What are you doing?
Don't dip into my plate.
I just remember like
there's one communal plate, Sam.
Ago,
I don't understand.
I just remember like 2 or 3 years ago just hearing you across the cafeteria.
That was last week.
No, but that wasn't me being angry. I'm just naturally loud. But so and I have a nephew who's just over 3 years old now, and he has anger issues too. He's not angry like all the time or anything like that, but when he is angry, and it's not your terrible 3 sort of thing. He is angry. And my sister said something about video games, and I went, well, I played video games, and that never had an effect on my anger. It never made me more angry or less angry when I was playing video games, and never would my dad allow me to use video games as an excuse for me being angry. And we were talking about this fact that, we like to blame video games for things, but like honestly, it's not a video game's fault. It's not the poker game's fault. It's not anything's fault when we can't control ourselves. But we wanted to talk about this idea of violence in video games, and have we gone too far in violence in our video games? Yeah. Is there ever going to be a step back and stuff like that? And would we allow our kids to play the video games that we play now?
Can I chime in on this one?
No.
We were hoping you would. You're the one with children.
Well, I have 2 children. I have one 10 and one 3. My 10-year-old.
Okay, but enough about their looks. How old are they?
Oh.
I think you're describing himself.
I'm like a 2.5. They're probably a solid 8.
Nice. So what you're telling me is they got their looks from their mother.
Yeah, definitely. yeah, or the milkman.
No,
I mean,
I wasn't sure if you were yawning or dying at first.
Oh gosh.
You have killed Zach?
Yes, I have. My oldest daughter got started with Minecraft. She, and that was probably at like 6. I want to say 6.
Okay,
in and around there.
3-4 years ago.
Yeah, and I'm always an Xbox guy. I always had Xbox.
Yep.
I have other systems, but that's our main system to go to.
He still uses the Sega Genesis?
I actually use my Nintendo a lot.
Nice. 64?
Yeah. I have a Super Nintendo and a regular Nintendo.
Okay. Some great games on there.
Yeah, amazing games.
Yeah.
So, anyways, she started in on, Minecraft.
Oh, that's a good
Minecraft.
Game.
Yeah. And at first I was a little hesitant.
Yeah.
At first, I was a little hesitant, like every parent,
sure,
to limit the amount of time that she played, so that she would be interested in other things. And I think
like
as
boys
a parent,
or
well,
no, just kidding.
Yeah, at that age, you're
right. At that age, you should be like, look at that.
Yeah,
that's why she hasn't seen Zach yet, because she would be head over heels.
That's probably true. It's that amazing beard.
I really don't like the fact that we're talking about a 10-year-old. I'd really like to change the topic now.
No, but I mean, as long as a parent is a parent and not a friend, I think you could limit things like playing time, social interaction in video games, if you understand and know who they're talking to.
Right. And I think that's a big concern, too, especially with the online interaction of games now. Anyone can send you a message.
What are your secrets?
Anyone can chat.
Oh, okay. Sorry, continue.
Are you guys going to focus on this?
No.
Focus is out the window.
Determined that he's a cat, so.
So I think as long as you parent and don't go overboard with it, I mean, there's always limitations to games, and as far as us as a society, we've already gone too far with games.
Yeah,
like we've gone into reality, sub-reality, past reality.
And I think it's a concern that, especially how far games have come, and we'll talk more about this in a little bit. But how far games have come, it's very, very close to reality. Yeah. It looks like it. It feels like it in a lot of ways.
I think we crossed a major threshold. Do you guys remember Modern Warfare 2?
We were talking about
scene,
this.
Where you could skip it.
You could.
But let's be honest, we were talking about this. I wouldn't have. If that had popped up when I was young and it had been like, you could skip this graphic content, I would have been like, ha, no. Mm-hmm. Like, let's be honest. And I don't know of really any kid. Well, I know of one, but he was a goody two-shoes. That if that had popped up, would have been like, oh, yes, I better skip this.
Yeah, this kind of
stuff. You know what I mean?
My parents are watching.
So, yes. Was it Activision that made Modern Warfare 2?
Well, Activision is the publisher. Infinity War was the developer.
Infinity War may have put that in there. Whoever it was would have put that in there, but they knew you weren't going to skip it.
Infinity Hammer.
It's fine.
Oh, Justin Hammer?
You knew they weren't going to skip it. Nobody was going to skip that scene.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean,
when you put the option in their hands.
And of course, we are talking about the scene where you are a Russian spy. You're a spy against the Russians, but you've infiltrated them, and you go into an airport and you kill massive amounts
people,
of. You just open fire on civilians.
I thought you could stab people too.
Well, maybe you could if you got close enough, but you just had a light machine gun and you just opened fire on civilians.
Right, and it's one thing to watch that. It's then turning around and making the player participate in it.
Right.
And if it was like...
And you never had to fire around, but let's be honest.
You did.
You did.
Oh, yeah.
And that's more kind of terrifying as a social commentary than anything else. But also, if they took that character and they said, you're playing the character for the rest of the game, and you're dealing with the fact that you went this far in order to keep your cover... And if you didn't shoot anyone, they killed you. But if you shot someone, then you play that character for the rest of the game. That would be interesting. And
but they killed you anyway.
They killed you no matter what.
Oh yeah.
So you didn't have to.
But you didn't know that before you played the game.
And you could have continued on with your story and just give that in a headline or whatever.
Or you could have killed him in some other way.
Or you could have shown. You didn't have to play it. You could have just showed it.
Right.
But they make you play it, and I'm like, if they're not going to pay off that, then it seems gratuitous for no reason.
Yes.
Right. And I do think that with video game violence, I don't think it's making people more angry or more violent, but I think it's really desensitizing us to that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I think movies were doing it a long time before.
See, I think movies, news, and all that already has done a lot of that.
Because we look at movies, look at action movies, like even Indiana Jones, stuff like that.
Like John Wick.
And we grow up with this mindset that when we don't agree with someone, all we have to do is shoot them.
Right.
And jokingly, callously, but the solution to someone who's in your way isn't rational discourse. It's, I just have to beat him up or kill him. Yeah. Then I win.
In almost every game that you play, anyway.
Right. And if there's something in your,
if it's not a sports game,
Undertale is the exception. Undertale, it's like, I can get through this.
And there are some games that you could possibly complete without ever attacking. But it makes the game an incredible amount harder to beat. We have been trained. I mean, we talk about it in video games. We're like, if there's enemies, that means I'm going the right way and stuff like that. Where, if you're killing people in these games, and let's be honest, I love first-person shooters. I think Call of Duty, for the most part, has gone downhill. But I loved Call of Duty 2 and Call of Duty Big Red 1 were some of my favorite games ever. Mm-hmm. I play mostly sports games, but I do play some violent video games and stuff like that. But I think that you're right. It desensitizes us. Now, here's the thing. My dad, I was a young boy, so I had.
You were a boy?
I was. So I played.
Transgender.
Stop it. So I played with guns that had the little orange tip on them, and I had cap guns and stuff like that. But my dad, there was one time in my life I pointed one of those fake guns at a human, and my dad made sure that I never did it again. Yeah. He made sure that I knew you do not point even fake guns at humans. But here's the problem: most young kids, which is which I do love airsoft and paintball, and he enjoys those stuff too. But let's be honest, most kids don't have parental figures, whether they be biological or not, that show them to say, listen, a video game is not reality.
Yeah.
Right.
And the best way around something is often not the violent way.
Right.
Yeah.
And,
so, like,
not only that, but the best parenting way for some people is just to drop their kid in front of a TV and say, "Hey, go play for a couple hours."
Right, so mommy and daddy, could go
don't-
cook or
yeah,
go
yeah.
clean, or just not pay attention to
And
you,
and you have to be aware of what your kids are putting into their brains,
Right,
especially
exactly.
especially if they don't have anyone helping them filter that through.
Yeah.
It's teaching them
that's
this
like
is the norm.
And what's TV,
Right.
YouTube, video games, and what are they teaching kids?
Yeah.
And
And at what age is it right? Like I mentioned, I played the first Call of Duty.
Jake Paul's
when I
mainly
was-
for kids from the ages of 6 to 12, I guess. Like that's what he says he's for. And it's like, do you want Jake Paul raising your
Right?
kids?
I was
or-
like 11 or 12 when I played the first Call of Duty game. Very much less violent than the Call of Duty games that come out now. Which the Call of Duties that come out now are still less violent than, say, Modern Warfare 2, 3, and Black Ops. I personally think Black Ops
Black
is
Ops
one of
is
the most
so-
violent shooters
Yeah.
out there.
Oh, it's
I love
brutal.
Black Ops.
Yeah.
But it's a incredible. But I look back now and I would say, okay, I would probably let my 12-year-old play the first Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
I would never let them play
Black Ops?
Black
Not
Ops
Jets.
until they were
Yeah.
15, 16, 17 years old. Not age necessarily makes a huge difference in things, but it allows you more time to teach and to show, and they are more mature.
Right.
You
And I
know,
feel like-
and I would never let my kid play GTA.
Yeah, no.
Never.
And
It's
I like-
atrocious.
See,
Yeah.
stuff like that just says go do whatever you want to do in real life, but you just can't do in real life
Yeah,
without getting in
yeah.
trouble. And I hate that.
I literally I went to Valley Forge Christian College for a year before transferring here to Clark Summit. When I was at Valley Forge, I had a friend who literally told me, I play GTA so that I don't do these things in real life. And I'm like,
I've heard that.
I'm like,
yeah.
that's not okay.
No.
That's an issue.
Yeah.
That it has nothing to do with a
Go
video
see a
game.
psychologist.
That has an issue to do with you.
Right.
If you are like, I'm either going to go shoot somebody in real life or go shoot somebody in this game, you have a problem.
Yeah.
And you should not be playing video games that are violent.
Here in
You
the
shouldn't be
Weekly
playing
Nerd-
any video game.
Here in the Weekly Nerd, we're concerned about mental health, and
It's true though. Like normally we talk about funny topics and but this is a legitimate thing with
And,
nerds.
I feel like I have a unique perspective from this because I'm not a huge fan of first-person shooters.
Okay.
And
You
that's-
prefer the third person view?
I do actually.
No. Yeah.
No, I actually do. And that's purely because I wasn't really into them like as a kid.
Yeah.
I had a weird childhood.
You had a
if
weird
listen to my-
adult-
if you li-
Please
if
share
you
with
listen-
us about your weird childhood.
If you listen to my podcasts and the stuff I've guested on, you'll hear all about it. But because of that, I wasn't really allowed to play like just games really until I was like probably in the range of like 11 to 13.
Right.
And because of that, and because of like what I was interested in, I only really played more like games that were interesting to me, which ended up being like I really love Spider-Man, but I also I played Minecraft for a while, like everyone does. I love like the new Zelda and
Yeah.
stuff like that. So I don't really play the.
But even the new Zelda game, while not violent like a first-person shooter is, you do attack things.
yeah, but like for me.
But I would say
for-
it's significantly less
yeah.
violent.
Well, because for me, you're never attacking a person. You're always attacking like a troll or something. Or
You
like
never fight
it's
Ganon?
a monster.
it's still.
I mean, you
it's-
fight Ganon, but he's not a person ever.
Wow.
He's like
Hashtag Ganon's a person too.
he's not though. He's a
No.
clown
Can I
or
happen to
whatever.
segue into something else here?
Sure.
And it's another one of our topics, but it was I wanted to discuss the death of the console as a whole, and because it has reached a pinnacle. What comes next? Like, what is the eventual course of them coming out with something like PlayStation 5, Xbox 2, or whatever they're gonna make, like 590 or whatever. I'm just saying, like
Right.
whatever comes out next.
Well, how
What?
did you get 590?
I don't know.
Okay, I was just.
How did they go from Xbox 360 to Xbox One?
Yeah,
Well, it's very simple. It's Xbox 360.
Xbox One.
How did?
Xbox 590.
Do you,
yeah, 590.
That makes perfect sense.
Yeah,
I'm not
Yeah,
following.
but 360 is like all
It-
the way around.
And Xbox 1.5.
And Xbox
Yeah.
One is the one rotation around the Earth for the one person who actually bought the Xbox One.
Right, and 360s how
I'm
many
gonna
days,
sta-
but
I'm
they
gonna
subtracted
stab you.
5 because
360 degrees.
360 is how many days that Xbox
This is
will
actually
last
how
before
they're
it catches
figuring
on
out the
fire.
name of this next Xbox. This is an actual thing.
guys, we are naming the next Xbox #weekly